The Coach Pete Richardson Show, hosted by Clarence Buggs and Southern University head football coach Pete Richardson, featuring all the excitement of the Southern University football program. Brought to you by Acadian True Value Hardware, SU Jags Online, Casino Rouge, Capital Transportation Corporation, the Clayton Law Firm, Bank One, Baton Rouge Coca-Cola, and Agnes Andrews Allstate Insurance.
In the last 5 years, you've updated your computer twice, updated your home entertainment system, updated your camcorder, updated your wardrobe. Isn't it time you updated your insurance?
For a free insurance checkup, see Agnes Andrews at 1200 South Acadian Thruway, Suite 217. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Right on CTC, we're here to get you there.
We're here to get you there. Your city bus can take you anywhere.
When you don't fight traffic, the difference is huge. We're the transportation for Baton Rouge. Right on CTC, we're here to get you there.
Hello and welcome to week 14 of the Coach Pete Richardson Show. We are on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. Clarence Buggs along with the coach, Pete Richardson. Coach, first and foremost, on behalf, I think I can speak of all members of the Jaguar Nation, going to start this show with 3 simple words: you the man. It goes without saying, all members of the Jaguar Nation honestly feel right now that you are the man. How does it feel 2 days after? Has it finally sunk in on you just yet?
Well, it's a great feeling knowing that we had a lot of people that had some doubts that we can win the football game, but I'm especially proud of my team, the way they played. I think going into the football game, they knew that we had finally come together the last 2 or 3 games, and they were confident going into that football game, which made it a whole lot easier.
Well, enough of making you toot your own horn, but obviously a thrilling game from start to finish. Keeps your streak intact, 8 Bayou Classics, 8 wins.
Well, I had a goal coming in to try to win 10. I think that we're the 8 games, and you look forward to the next game because it's always going to be a challenge knowing you're going against a good football team.
Well, without any further ado, let's jump right into the highlights from the first Bayou Classic of the new millennium. We pick it up on our first possession, 2nd and 6 from the Graham 28. Terrence Levy picks up 10 for a first down.
Well, what happened, we emptied the backfield, had 5 wideouts, and we ran a quarterback draw up to the left side, and Terrence did a great job of running the football for us.
3 plays later, it's 3rd and 19 from the GSU 17. Terrence Levy looks for and finds Haywood Guyon for 12 yards.
Well, it was a crossing route. The middle linebacker was dropping deep, and we practiced all week knowing that when we spread him out that he would do that, and Haywood did a fine job, not only catching the football, but running it once he got his hands on it.
Very next play, Dane Lewis punches it in from 5 yards out, and we go up 7-zip.
But what happened, we ran an option play. We spread him out again, knowing that the man on the end of the line was responsible for the pitch. He came down on the quarterback, and Terrence did a good job of optioning off to Dane scored the first touchdown.
Grambling's first possession, we pick it up 4 plays in, 1st and 10 from the 32. Sean Overton is first of the hat trick.
Well, what happened, we kind of disguised the coverages on him, knowing that once we saw him a single coverage on the outside, and we rolled Sean over the top, and sure enough, he threw it down. We came up with our first turnover.
2 plays later, 1st and 10 from the 24. Terrence, a loss of 13 on a sack from Robert Taylor.
Well, what had happened, they had us backed up, and they pulled an all-out blitz on us, and at that time, the number 2 receiver missed the hot read and left Terrence kind of bare on the outside, and they did a good job of bringing him down.
2 plays later, the bad luck continues. 3rd and 21 from the 13, a pick from Denmark Reed.
Well, the same thing happened on this. We had just called a timeout, and all of a sudden we went out and we changed the play at the line of scrimmage, and they blitzed again, and we missed the hot read down inside, and Terrence overthrew him, but he was wide open, just missed him.
Grambling capitalizes, 5 plays in, 2nd and 10 from the 16. Randy Imes punches it in from 16 out.
Well, what had happened, they took a strip out of our playbook. They spreaded us out with no backs, and he was the only one in the backfield, and they pulled a quarterback draw, and the defensive lineman missed a tackle, and he did a good job of running into the end zone.
Undaunted, we come right back 2 plays later, 86 big ones, Terrence Levy to Michael Hayes.
Well, they had us backed up again, and what happened, they decided to blitz again, and Terrence checked off to the fade to Mike. Mike did a good job of concentration, knowing that he's going against a talented defensive back, popped the ball up in the air, and once he received it, it was just a foot race to the end zone.
Ensuing possession, we pick up the action 4 plays into the drive, 3rd and 5 from the Grambling 20. Imes finds Levi Washington for 29 yards.
Well, they did a good job of deception. He's a wide receiver, but they put him in the backfield, let him come out working on a linebacker. He did a good job of going to the flats, and he just outran the linebacker on that play.
4 plays later, Calvin Pearson picks up 10 yards to our 34 for the first down.
Well, they pulled a fake punt. What had happened is that they had it spread out, and Calvin is not usually in the game, and he went around that right side and just outran anybody and barely made that first down.
Sean Overton, 2 plays later, comes up with his second pick of the contest.
Well, within that drive, they went down about the 15-yard line. The ball was tapped up in the air, and all of a sudden, Sean came up with his second interception.
We capitalize 4 plays into the ensuing possession, 3rd and 4 from our 41. Terrence Levy again to Haywood Guyan.
I think Haywood is doing a good job down inside. He's a very gifted receiver. Don't have great speed, but once he gets his hands on the ball, he has competitive speed. He seems like to break tackles, and especially pitted with linebackers all the time.
1 play later, Dane Lewis punches it in from 4 out, and we're up 21-7.
I think this is Dane's second touchdown. We ran off the right side. They did a good job of blowing him off the line of scrimmage.
There is still more to come, highlights and all. You're watching the Coach Pete Richardson Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Wouldn't you love a sunroof in your car? How about a simulated convertible top or rich supple leather seats? Maybe a television entertainment system for those road trips. Tops Unlimited is the only name to know for automotive aftermarket accessories. Custom grills, ground effects and rear spoilers, wood grain dash kits, convertible top replacement, and more. It's all available at Tops Unlimited, serving Baton Rouge for over 18 years. Located at 11311 Cedar Park Avenue off Segan Lane. Our business is Tops.
I'm attorney Tony Clayton. I've tried a number of cases right here in this courthouse. I've probably tried more cases in the last 10 years than most lawyers have tried their entire career. I'm not afraid of a courtroom, and I'm not afraid to try your case before a jury, which means that insurance companies either offer you a fair settlement or we go to trial. My area of practice is personal injury. If you've been seriously injured, give me a call at 344-7000 for a free consultation. You will receive prompt, professional, and personal attention from me and my staff. And remember, at the Clayton Law Firm, we'll be with you every step of the way.
Southern University alumni, faculty, and students, you can take the yard to the web thanks to SU Jags Online. That's right, SU Jags Online is the official internet service provider of the Southern University National Alumni Federation. You can communicate with long-lost classmates, get financial information, news, entertainment, and weather. Follow Jaguar Sports Live and so much more all online at SU Jags Online. Go to www.sujagsonline.net and subscribe today.
Imagine a place that understands you'd rather be doing anything on Saturday other than fixing your faucet. A place that knows you can't spend half the weekend shopping for your weekend projects. True Value. For the jobs you do most and look forward to least. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value.
Acadian True Value, serving Baton Rouge for over 25 years. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations.
Welcome back to the Coach Pete Richardson Show. We are on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. Coach, let's get straight back to the highlights. We pick up the action, minutes remaining in the first quarter. Grambling on the move, 2nd and 9 from their own 16. Imes looks for and finds Scotty Anderson for 14 yards.
Well, Scotty's a very elusive receiver. When it's down and out, once he gets the ball, that's when he's dangerous.
Sound like a broken record. 3rd and 10 from the 30. Imes to Scotty Anderson, again, 14 yards.
It was one of the crossing routes across the middle, and he does a good job of running with the ball.
Defense comes up big. 1st and 10 from our 38. Imes is sacked by Byron Hurst for a loss of 7.
Well, I think Byron had a great game also. He got a pass interference and roughing call on this, but to keep that drive going.
First quarter ends 21-7, our favor. First possession of the second quarter, 1st and 10 from our 24. Imes finds Levi Washington for 24 yards and a touch.
Well, it seems like Washington has been a nemesis for us all the last 2 or 3 years down in that middle. He's constantly coming up with touchdowns.
21-14 our way, ensuing possession, 2nd and 9 from our 25. Terrence Levy picks up 7 to the 32.
Well, he dropped back the pass. He got flushed out, and he did a good job of running with the ball.
We punt on that possession to Graham. 3 plays into their drive, 3rd and 6 from their own 31. Levi Washington again, this time for 20 yards.
Well, another one down the middle, splitting it 2 deep, and he did a good job of running with the ball once he got his hands on it.
2 plays later, Imes comes back again to his favorite, Scotty Anderson. This time they pick up a dime.
Well, it was a slant pass, and Scotty down in the middle, and he did a good job of running with it.
4 plays later, Lauren ends up punting after our defense stiffens, and we are nailed deep at our own end zone on the 1-yard line.
Well, it was probably the first time we were backed up that far, and they did a good job of punting down about the 1. They pinned us down, and now we had to go 99 yards.
Well, 99 we go. 2nd and 10 from our 1. Dane Lewis starts it off with an 11-yard burst.
Well, Dane's doing a good job of running the last couple games. He's running hard inside and opening up that passing game.
And to show just how hard, 2nd play, 15 yards to our 27.
Well, there we go again. The defensive ends was running upfield, so we're coming inside with Dane.
If you hadn't had enough, a little more Dane. 2 plays later, 22 yards to the Grambling 31.
Well, it's almost a duplication of the same play because of what they're doing defensively. We just stayed consistent in running the ball.
8 plays later, we capitalized Justin Mattingly from 22 out, and that makes it 24-14.
Well, it's one of our field goal attempts. We hadn't been successful in a number of games with that, so he did a good job with it.
The ensuing kickoff, they return it 36 yards, but they end up punting after the defense rises to the occasion. 3 plays into our next possession, Terrence Levy to Devin Lewis for 21 yards.
Well, Devin is the inside receiver. They're doubling on the outside with Hayes, and he did a good job down in the middle.
Unfortunately, 8 plays into the drive, we stalled. Justin has to punt, but it's a beauty, some 61 yards.
Well, it seemed like he kicks the ball better on the inside, and he's got a good placement on it, and he kicked that 61, and we did a good job of coverage.
2 plays later, Grambling, 2 possessions later, begging your pardon, Grambling looks as though they're driving, but we come up big on special teams as they miss the 47-yard field goal.
I think our whole defense stepped up. We had to stop them on that drive and missed that field goal attempt.
Our next possession, a name we hadn't called so far all evening, Torrey Ingram, 32 yards from Terrence Levy, and we're up 31-14.
Well, it's a play that we put in for this game, knowing that when we go unbalanced, they overload to one side, and we play faked, and Troy was running down the middle.
2 possessions later, Grambling comes right back. 1st and 10 from our 46. Terrence is sacked for a loss of 6, and the fumble recovered by Grambling.
Well, they blitzed from the outside, block more we could block, and then as a result, Terrence fumbled the ball.
Grambling tries to capitalize. 3 plays into the drive. Randy Imes incomplete to Ellis Spears.
Well, we're putting a lot of pressure on him. I think we're running some line stunts to open up and put the pressure on him.
A lot of calls for an intentional grounding call there, but none came from the officials. Fortunately, our defense holds. 3rd and 17 from the 37. Imes is sacked for a loss of 6. Again, Byron Hurst defensively.
Well, I think it was the first game that our defensive line put a great rush on and really helped us out with those interceptions.
Our next possession, 4 plays into it. 2nd and 11 from our 19. Terrence is sacked for a loss of 10.
Well, we tried to sprint out to the right, and I think that running back missed the block.
Unfortunately, Coach, 4th and 14 from our 16, and they pick up 2 points on the safety.
Well, it was a safety. The ball was snapped through the punter's hands, and he went out the end zone.
G-men come right back 6 plays into their ensuing drive. Randy Imes goes to Levi Washington for 25 yards to our 3-yard line.
It was a crossing route, which he was sprinted out and hit Levi running across the field.
And 7 plays later in the drive, Rodney Beaudoin rushes it in from a yard out, and Grambling's back in business down by 8, 31-23.
Well, I think our goal line defense stood strong, but we got a penalty down there and gave them an extra try, and they scored.
When we come back, the finish to probably the most exciting Bayou Classic ever. Stay with us. You're watching The Coach Pete Richardson Show.
Now that's what I call fan noise.
Even in good times, the needs of Louisiana's communities don't disappear, and sometimes their challenges can seem overwhelming. That's why Bank One Louisiana contributes more than $10,000 a day to education, medical research, the arts, and countless charitable organizations across our state. And it's why our employees devote thousands of hours to causes they believe in. We do it because some things just can't be done alone, and we think it's important to help restore the balance.
There's a place where you can go to join the celebration called Fun Fever. thoughts, the sights, the sounds, the tastes. It's called fun fever. Rouge fun fever. Shake your body, it's a party every day. Feel it in the air, fun fever's here to stay. Fun fever, get to the Rouge.
Enjoy the moments that a new day brings. Everyone in the world has a song to sing. Live every day, let it sing. Enjoy. All around the world, have a Coke and enjoy.
Welcome back to the Coach Pete Richardson Show, and as promised, now the fourth quarter of the most amazing finish in Bayou Classic history. Coach, let's pick it up right at the fourth quarter. 4 plays into the quarter. Terrence Levy goes to Devin Lewis for 15 yards to the Grambling 14.
Well, Devin's doing a fine job of catching the football down in that middle because they're doubling on the outside.
4th and goal from the Grambling 1. Dane Lewis is stopped on a crunching tackle.
Well, what happened, we decided to go for it on 4th and 1 to pin them in or either score a touchdown, and we came up short.
2 possessions later, we're back in business. 4 plays in. Unfortunately, Calvin Spears picks off Terrence Levy.
What happened, there was a miscommunication between the wide receiver and the quarterback, and he threw it up, and Calvin came down with the interception.
Grambling gets it back, but our defense rises. 3 plays in, 2nd and 10 from the 20. It's a loss of 4 with Kentrell Blotcher on the sack.
What we did is stand in the middle with the line to try to get some pressure on him, and he did a good job of getting to the quarterback.
6 plays into our next possession. Terrence Levy finds Al Trevion Jobert at the Grambling 28, but he forces the fumble.
Well, they're stunting inside, and Al did a fine job of catching the football, and once he had the ball in his hand, they did a good job of standing up, and all of a sudden the ball was on the turf.
Grambling recovers the fumble. 3 plays into their ensuing drive. Scotty Anderson for 46 yards.
Well, it was a great catch. I think Lenny, the defensive back, was waiting for the ball to come down. He should have went up and attacked it, and Scotty stepped inside and made a great catch.
3 plays later, 2nd and 10 from our 40. Imes goes to Levi Washington for 13.
Well, he sprinted out to the left side, and I think Mike Landry was chasing him and did a good job of throwing back across his body. And Levi, ball popped up in the air, he came down with it.
You watch there as Sean Overton gets victimized, but 2 plays later, keeps his head in the game mentally, comes back for his 3rd interception of the night.
Well, the ball was popped up in the air again, and Sean did a good job of coming up with a 3rd INT.
2 possessions later, we pick it up 2nd and 10 from the Grambling 38. Grambling back on the move. Imes goes to Chris Highshaw for 17 yards.
Well, they're running that deep out on the outside, and he did a good job of turning inside with the football.
Very next play, they go right back to Chris Highshaw again, this time for 15 yards.
Well, they're trying to work the clock, down and out routes, and he did a good job of stepping in and catching the ball.
4 plays later, 2nd and 15 from our 35. Imes on the ground, picks up 9.
Well, he was sprinting outside, and he broke contain, and once he got outside the defensive end, he did a good job of running with the ball.
3rd and 6 from our 26. Imes on the move again. This time picks up 22 with Kentrell Blotcher on the stop.
Well, the quarterback is a very elusive receiver, and then once he gets in the secondary, it causes you a lot of problems.
2 plays later, Scotty Anderson thinks they have redemption as he picks it in for 4 yards out.
Well, it was a slant to Scotty. It went right over the linebacker's head. He did a good job of catching the ball.
And, of course, what will probably go down in Bayou Classic annals as the catch. Ed Reese Brown, fittingly so, team captain, comes up with the icer for the game.
Well, what happened, they went for 2 to try to score, tie the game up, and we had great line surge, and he went up to throw the football, and all of a sudden it was tapped up in the air, and Idris came down with the ball, and all of a sudden the place erupted. He was flying down the sideline, and with Scotty chasing him, and he finally made it to the end zone.
All right. The hard work at hand now. Obviously, we've got to award our top choice offensive and defensive players of the week. I guess I can go out on the limb and say it's probably offensively going to be Terrence Levy, right?
Well, Terrence did a good job of directing offense. The last 3 or 4 games, he's passed for about 400 yards a game, and I think his decision-making and where to put the ball is important for our football team.
Can't mention Terrence Levy without mentioning Michael Hayes. Another game with at least 1 reception, 1 touchdown reception, 148 yards receiving.
Well, Mike has put up some impressive credentials, almost like an All-American credentials. You got 80 catches for almost 1,300 yards. and playing only 3/4 of this football game. So, you know, we're looking for big things from Mike.
A lot of us, myself included, missed the play. What happened on the ejection play with Michael Hayes and the Grambling defender rather?
Well, I think what happened is that according to the rules, anytime a player throws a punch, that's an automatic ejection. So you have to stand within the rules. And once it happened, we're sorry to see him go out, but you know, those are the rules.
Let's flip the coin over now and look at the top choice defensive player of the week. Gotta be a tough one. Dog Day D was strong all across the board. Sean Overton, Ed Reese Brown, Antonio Mays, the whole defense. Who do we go with this week?
I think overall the defense stepped forward, knowing that we're going into a game that we had to win and going against a good football team. I thought Sean had an exceptional game, probably the best game he played since he's been at Southern University. Picking off 3 passes and killing some important drive for us.
Our hats go off, obviously, to the entire Dog Day D as well as the offense. Stay with us. You're watching the Coach Pete Richardson Show.
We are on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard.
Did you know that by following a few simple directions, your insurance could cost a lot less?
To find out how safe drivers can save, see Agnes Andrews at 1200 South Acadian Thruway, Suite 217. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Ride on CTC, we're here to get you there.
We're here to get you there. Your city bus can take you anywhere.
When you don't buy traffic, the difference is huge. We're the transportation for Baton Rouge. Ride on CTC, we're here to get you there.
I'm attorney Tony Clayton. I've tried a number of cases right here in this courthouse. I've probably tried more cases in the last 10 years than most lawyers have tried their entire career. I'm not afraid of a courtroom, and I'm not afraid to try your case before a jury, which means that insurance companies either offer you a fair settlement or we go to trial. My area of practice is personal injury. If you've been seriously injured, give me a call at 344-7000 for a free consultation. You will receive prompt, professional, and personal attention from me and my staff. And remember, at the Clayton Law Firm, we'll be with you every step of the way.
Southern University alumni, faculty, and students, you can take the yard to the web thanks to SU Jags Online. That's right, SU Jags Online is the official internet service provider of the Southern University National Alumni Federation. You can communicate with long-lost classmates, get financial information, news, entertainment, and weather. Follow Jaguar Sports Live and so much more all online at SU Jags Online. Go to www.sujagsonline.net and subscribe today.
Welcome back to the Coach Pete Richardson Show. We are on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. As many of you probably know, Coach Eddie Robinson, the legendary Eddie Robinson, was inducted into the Louisiana Superdome Hall of Fame at the pregame ceremonies for the Bayou Classic 2000. Coach, 55 years at Grambling. One of his favorite sayings is 55 years, one job, one wife. Does this man's legacy ever cease to amaze you?
Well, you talk about Eddie Robinson. You talk about an individual that's meant so much to college football, not just black football. The standards that he sets forward, you have to take a look at his deciphers and what he's meant for the game of football.
You know, Coach Robinson, a little known fact, was also one of the creators of the Bayou Classic, and of course the current coach at Grambling, Doug, was a protege of Eddie Robinson. Any similarities between the two since you've had the opportunity to coach against the two of them?
Well, I think so. Both their teams are well prepared. They play hard for 60 minutes. And, you know, I think the biggest contrast between the two is that Eddie tried to run the ball a great deal of the time, and Doug is throwing the ball a lot more.
You know, I hate to put you back on the hot seat of having to toot your own horn, but you're one of the few guys who's never lost to either Eddie Robinson or Doug Williams. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Well, I know what the game means to our community. They put a lot into it, and they expect us to play well. And plus, our team play well inside. And we have quite a few players from the New Orleans area. When they go home, they get excited about playing, and it's not hard to get them up for the game.
Looking specifically at Grambling, having lost the regular season culminating game in the Bayou Classic, how tough is it going to be now for Doug Williams and his staff to get the G-men back up in anticipation of the SWAC championship game?
Well, it's going to be a tough game for them going into the championship, especially with a loss of the Bayou Classic. A lot of the players look forward to playing into it, and with only a week's time, I think that's what you have to be concerned with such a letdown in a short period of time. Also, there was a number of people that were injured in the game from Grambling, and that's going to take its toll in that football game.
When we come back, we will have the final segment of Week 14 of the Coach Pete Richardson Show. Stay with us.
Even in good times, the needs of Louisiana's communities don't disappear, and sometimes their challenges can seem overwhelming. That's why Bank One Louisiana contributes more than $10,000 a day to education, medical research, the arts, and countless charitable organizations across our state. And it's why our employees devote thousands of hours to causes they believe in. We do it because some things just can't be done alone, and we think it's important to help restore the balance.
On Monday, it was an eternity away. By Thursday, you could almost taste it. The weekend, filled with possibilities and, oh yeah, projects. Nobody knows where you'd rather be more than True Value. We get you in and out fast with just what you need. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value.
Acadian True Value, serving Baton Rouge for over 25 years. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations.
There's a place where you can go to join the celebration called Fun Fever. Fun Fever, Rouge Fun Fever. Come to where the action's hot, the sights, the sounds, the tastes. It's called Fun Fever. Fun Fever, Rouge Fun Fever. Shake your body, it's a party every day. Feel it in the air, Fun Fever's here to stay. Fun Fever, get to the Rouge.
Welcome back to the Coach Pete Richardson Show for our final segment. We are on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. Coach, looking ahead to next week, obviously you will be enjoying the Christmas holidays. First time probably in a while that you've gotten to do so in a leisurely fashion. Watching the Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship game, Grambling and Alabama A&M, 2 teams that you defeated during the course of the regular season. 2-part question. First, obviously, is it going to be a little easier to stomach having to watch that game, having beaten these 2 teams? And lastly, as the B part of that, your prediction for the contest.
Well, the first question is, it's going to be hard to stomach watching the football game because you realize that you're a play here or a play there. You could have been right in that football game. Second, the outcome is going to be a very competitive game. I think both teams are going to be fired up. It's the first time that a championship in our conference is going to be won by somebody other than Southern University or Jackson State, so that's going to put some added incentive in that football game.
Well, of course, we would like to extend a very heartfelt thank you to the members of the Jaguar Nation who turned out in full force to support the Jaguars in the Bayou Classic 2000. And a quick reminder, next week will be our final Coach Pete Richardson Show. We tape live on Monday nights in the neighborhood of 7 o'clock. Make it a point, come on out and join us for the final edition of the Coach Pete Richardson Show.